Active Investor here, bringing you another independent analysis. This time we're taking another look at ticker symbol EBIO. It's 11 Biotherapeutics Incorporated chart we have today. 30-minute chart, each candlestick representing 30 minutes. I have a few weeks here on the chart that I want to take a look at. So the last analysis I had on EBIO, if you guys remember, it was hovering right around 90 cents. And it was actually a swing trade video, if I recall correctly, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. A swing trade from right around 90 cents to a price target of $1.08, I think. And that was, I think, back around here. Back around here. I think we'll go with the white, yeah. And so I think I posted that video on that day. And the next day, it actually went all the way up above my price target. And it did indeed have a great swing, but then we consolidated down a bit. And it's kind of just been back and forth channeling. But it does seem like EBIO is trying to keep pushing up. And I think it's really trying to work its way back to, let me pull this information up here, work its way back to where it was around January 15th. And on January 15th, there was some falling off. It fell off from around $2.19 to about $1. And then the next day, the 16th, fell all the way from about $1.06 to another 45 cents. So it got completely slaughtered. But before that, EBIO was trading around $3. It was hovering around the high twos to about $3 for a while. So it seems like EBIO is slowly working its way back up to that price point. At least the last few weeks, you know, for a while there, it was hovering around $1. It would go to like 90 cents or $1.10, but it would always find its way back to $1. But the last few weeks, it's really just been kind of climbing back up. It's not hovering around the dollar area as much, you know. It had some action, went up to a 155, came back down to $1, dipped down. It's been pushing its way to like 120 or so. Just been kind of swinging back and forth between $1 and $1.20. So it's definitely overall, you know, increasing. We saw it hover around 90 cents to $1 for a while. Now it seems like it's hovering around $1 to $1.20. And I think it's going to keep working its way up to $2 at this rate. And then it'll probably settle around maybe the mid $2 area if it keeps increasing like this. So we have three areas of support: $1.26, $1.16, and $1. $1.26 has been tested a lot. $1.16 has been tested a lot. The dollar hasn't been tested quite as much recently, but we do know for a fact that EBIO was literally glued to $1 for many weeks there, about a month or two ago. So those are my three main support areas. For pivot points of resistance, I actually don't have any. You know, you could say we tested around $1.50 here, but looking at the historical data, we really just had that big gap down from $2. Like I said, it fell down from about $2.22 all the way to about 30 cents. It's low all the way down at 25 cents. So there wasn't too much support and resistance on the way down. It just kind of fell off. So there's really not that much resistance to cover on the chart. If it keeps working its way up, I do think it might be smooth sailing all the way to that $2 area. Now that said, anything can happen, of course. If there's bad news or something, this thing will probably go down and drop to its previous levels. But at this rate, if it continues, I could see it, like I said, working its way up to that $2 area. Now looking at some of our indicators here, we have the Ichimoku cloud on this chart. And you can see that our candles have been above the cloud all day. All day today they were above the cloud. And yesterday is when we broke out of the cloud. So before that, though, we were below the cloud for about 3.5 days. So it finally broke out of the cloud, and then that's when we saw this run. We broke the resistance at 126 right over here. It did get denied. You know, it couldn't really hold above. Got denied, but then the last half of the day it just shot right back up. Last half of today. So I think if $1.26 holds, we're looking at some smooth sailing to $2. If 126 breaks, I'd be expecting support to come to 116. But just keep in mind that the Ichimoku cloud can also act as trailing support. And the fact that our cloud is peaking out here right around the $1.26 level, you can see the cloud's right at 125. That definitely shows that we have pretty good support forming at 126. So look for a dip to 126 if you're trying to buy into this. Of course, it might not dip down. It's at 138 now, but I'd be looking for it to kind of dip to 126 to get in. Otherwise, you just might see it keep going. And like I said, I don't have any certain resistance areas on the way up. So I'm curious to see what EBIO is going to keep doing. Looking to see if it's going to keep working its way to the $2 area. And on the way up, if it's choppy, then we can find some resistance and support areas on the way up. But as it is now, the highest pivot point that I have to our candles is that 126 area. So let's see what the future brings, but pretty good movements for EBIO. Let's see if it keeps up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.